Oh God, I didn't record this. I didn't record the whole part. I suck. When I wanted to turn this off, I turned it on. So basically, I can start from the start again. Welcome to my latest video series. That's about me building a drone. In the first video, video 0, I was talking about the tools that I want to use to build a drone. In this video, I want to quickly go through the important parts of the drone. I'm not going to go through all the cables and screws and all that stuff, because I do not really want to make an unboxing video, but I want to quickly give an overview over the most important parts that are going to be put into this drone. Most of them come with the drone kit. I'm going to tell you if something didn't come with the drone kit, and yeah, once this overview is done, in the next few videos I'm going to actually start building the drone, and while building the drone I'm going to try to tell you more about those single elements than just in this quick overview. Keep in mind, I'm still a beginner on building drones myself, so some of the things I might say are not precise. They're to the best of my knowledge, but as I said, I'm new to this, so my knowledge might not be perfect. So the drone that I'm building, I've said it in the first video, is going to be Tyro79 from Eachine. And the kit comes with a lot of stuff that you might need, like screws and wires and all those things, and I'm not going to go into those, but I want to show you at least the main components. And we're going to start this by basically the frame. This is the base plate for the frame, which has this typical drone X. This is in a size factor that will allow me to use 3-inch rotors on this. The kit comes with 3-inch rotors. I have a few more bought already in case I damage them or in case they're not good, because I was told they're not the best out there. This also belongs to the frame. Those metal parts, I believe them to be aluminium, basically protecting your camera and your other electronics. There's a few side panels here, some top panel, stuff like that. So that's basically a frame where everything will be mounted. And then we basically have the electronics. Starting with the motors, I think that's the most obvious thing. There's 4 motors, as this is a quadcopter, and quad means 4. As you can see on those nuts, some of them are white, some of them are black. The motors, when installed, will turn in 2 different directions. 2 of them will turn clockwise, 2 of them will turn counterclockwise, and those are set up to have those nuts that will either go clockwise or counterclockwise to actually lock. So the idea is that if you have a motor that goes clockwise and you have a nut that screws on clockwise, then basically while the rotor is turning, it will keep fastening the nut, and that means that you will not get in a situation where your propeller just flies away because the nut got unscrewed. So those motors are going to be connected to what's called ESC, which is this little thing here. There is 3 varieties of ESCs. The first one being ones that are built into the flight controller, and we're going to see a flight controller in a minute. That is usually done for the small drones like the tiny whoops that you've seen me fly before, if you watch my channel. And then there is the so-called 4-in-1 ESCs. This is a 4-in-1 ESC, which means, as you can see, there's 6 contacts here, 3 for each motor, and there's 6 on the other side. So this can actually handle 4 motors. You see there is a capacitor already soldered to the 2 pads that actually take the power. This is where the XT30 power cable will go, and the capacitor is making sure that there is a clean power supply. So ESC means electronic speed controller, and I'm not sure why my home assistant is talking now, but okay. ESC means electronic speed controller. So what this does is it takes the signals from the FC, and we're going to get to the FC in a moment, and is converting them into actually, well, the power information that the motors need to know how fast to spin. More on the ESC when we start building the drone. Then we have the flight controller. In this case, this has so-called F4 chip. Most flight controllers that are usually used today have either an F3, F4, or an F7 chip. As I said, this one is an F4, which is the most common one at the moment. The F3 is a bit slower, has a bit less capability. The F7 has a bit more capabilities than that, but the F4 is just fine. As you can see, there is those white connector things here. Those will make it quite easy for me to actually get everything together, because everything that can be connected through one of those connectors I do not need to solder. You see there's a mini USB port. That's the one that we're going to use to, well, flash Betaflight and to configure Betaflight, which is the software that's going to run on this FC. FC means flight controller, and that's basically the brains of your drone. So it will tell the ESC and some of the other things what to do. Now, if you I actually just lost the train of thought. Oh, there we go. If you actually want your remote control, your radio or your TX to actually tell this FC something, for example, on what to do, you will need a receiver or RX. In this case, I haven't actually gotten it from the packaging yet. That's an XM Plus. The thing is that most of the drones that you can buy, most of the drone kits that you can buy will come without a receiver, and that is so you can actually pick a receiver that fits to your radio. I'm using an FrSky X Lite, so the X Lite is an FrSky transmitter, and the receiver here will allow me to use the protocols that one supports. If you have, for example, a Spectrum radio, then you would have a Spectrum receiver here. And there are some pitfalls when you actually attach this to the RFC, but that's what we're going to talk about when we do this later on in the series. For now, all you need to know, you need one of those, one receiver. This one is a rather small one. You're going to see it unpackaged once we get to building it. I just don't want to have it flying around right now. And yeah, there's that. The next thing the kit comes with, and which you need to build any form of FPV drone, is the VTX. That's the video transmitter. Basically, the camera plugs in here, and this small thing will take care of actually transmitting the video feed to your goggles and everyone else's goggles who tunes in on your frequency. Bit more on this one when we get to building this. There is a camera that came with the kit. This one basically, and I've been told it's not all bad, but I want to have a DVR that helps me to record what I do with the drone, so I am going to use this CADX Turtle, which I have still in this plastic bag. As you can see, there is another board that comes with the CADX Turtle. That board basically is a DVR board, so that allows me to plug in an SD card and record what the camera is seeing. I'm not 100% certain on how I will fit this into the drone yet, but that's one of the things that I really want to do. Is I want this to be in the drone so the drone can record where it is flying. The rest of the things, cable binders, tools, screws, more screws. You see there is a lot of stuff that came with the drone. Nuts, I'm not going to go through this. This is not an unboxing video. I think I have covered the important parts for the drone now, and now we're going to move on to the next video once I'm going to build this. I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of components that this little drone is going to have, and if you did, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Click on the like button if you want to see where this series is going, if you want to see if I actually succeed building the drone, or if I horribly fail and everything goes up in smoke. Please subscribe, hit the bell button, and there will be a new episode soon. Have a nice day.